Trump's big, beautiful bill is officially making its way through the Senate. I want to bring in Congressman Dan Meuser. He's a Republican from Pennsylvania. Dan, welcome back to the program. Now, you're fact-checking the Democrats for what you are calling fear-mongering over this big, beautiful bill. I want to go through this one at a time. First off, Democrats claim work requirements for Medicaid and Medicare will kick millions off the program. Is that accurate?
Well, I'll tell you what's accurate, Stuart, just very briefly. Look, this bill is very important, but it's just a first step. It's truly a first step. Like, for instance, I have language in it that calls for overpayments and recovery of overpayments that take place on the state level and the federal level that could save another 50, 60, 70 billion dollars a year. So what Elon Musk is saying, look, all the secretaries are going to continue to try to reduce the level of spending. I mean, the Department of Labor, for instance, has doubled. The Department of Education has doubled. There's so much more that's going to take place as we go. And to your question, yes, there will be some. You know who are going to be dropped from Medicaid? Illegals, those who are completely ineligible. I mean, there are some states that actually have a saying when an application comes in for Medicaid, close your eyes and authorize. And you know what, Stuart? Pennsylvania is one of those states. They're just allowing anyone who submits. They're putting them on Medicaid, which frankly is against the law and the intent of Medicaid.
Okay.
So illegal is about 1.4 million. There's others who are 1.2 million that are completely ineligible. And then there are those who fall within what we're now instituting work requirements between the ages of 18 and 60, 20 hours a week, voluntary work, community work, or real work in order to make them eligible. And that's going to kick in January 1, 2027. So it's not harsh. It's saving Medicaid.
Okay. Now, again, the Democrats say the bill unfairly targets migrants and those in need. Respond to that one.
Well, those in need can go to our emergency rooms. Our hospitals take care of those. There are some states that extend different programs for those here illegally. But those here illegally are not eligible for Medicaid. So we could work on that as a separate law, or they need to get right with the law in order to receive the benefits from the American taxpayer.
So less money will flow to Medicaid. There will be a cut in the funding, money flowing to Medicaid. That's accurate, right?
Well, the plan is for some savings, and as well as driving the added benefits to an increased population of those who are eligible. Now, here's the thing, Stuart, that's very important as well. Medicaid has gone up in the last 5 years, 50%, 49.6% in 5 years. SNAP, by the way, has gone up 67%. Now, both went up during COVID, but neither was brought back down. We need to bring stabilization, legitimacy, justification, and actually follow the law for eligibility.
Now, the Senate is talking about more spending cuts. You in line with that?
I believe we can reduce the level of federal government spending a lot more than has been done. There's simply no question about it. Stuart, you know this. We went from in 2019, $4.6 trillion in spending to now $7 trillion. Now, fortunately, our revenues have gone up nicely, but nowhere near that amount. So we're in debt on an annual basis, $1.8 trillion. That is not sustainable. Some of it's going to be fixed through the pro-growth initiatives of President Trump. The others got to come from reasonable, rational, practical savings. Not harsh language, not saying federal workers are all terrible. Of course they're not. They're fine people. But just like Apple has reductions and Google has reductions and all companies have to go through some corrections on occasion, we need a correction to take place, not just with workers, but with the overall size of our federal government. I think the American people agree with that.
Congressman Dan Meuser, thank you very much for joining us on an important subject. We appreciate that. Thanks very much, sir.
Thanks.